Part 1. Mythical Beginnings and Early Clans Prehistory, 538 AD. Japan's story begins with myth. According to Shinto legend, the gods Izanagi and Izanami created the Japanese islands. Their descendant, Emperor Jimmu, is said to have founded the imperial line around 660 BCE, a tradition that links Japan's rulers to the sun goddess Amaterasu. Archaeological evidence shows that humans lived in Japan over 30,000 years ago. The Jomon period, 14,000 to 300 BCE, saw early people create pottery and live in small hunter-gatherer communities. Then came the Yayoi period, 300 BCE, 250 AD, when rice farming, metal tools, and new social structures emerged, likely influenced by migration from Korea and China. During the Kofun period, 250 to 538 AD, powerful clans built large tombs and began to form alliances. The Yamato clan rose to prominence in central Japan and claimed descent from the gods, giving them spiritual authority. They started to unify the region and laid the foundations for Japan's imperial system, which still exists today. This period blended myth and early statecraft, shaping Japan's cultural identity and its long-standing reverence for the emperor. Part 2. Buddhism and the Imperial Court, 538 to 1185. In 538 AD, Buddhism officially arrived in Japan from the Korean kingdom of Beech. It soon blended with Shinto, influencing art, philosophy, and politics. During the Asuka period, 538 to 710, reforms based on Chinese models were introduced, including a centralized government and legal codes. Prince Shotoku played a key role, promoting Confucian values and imperial authority. The Nara period, 710 to 794, marked the establishment of Japan's first capital in Nara. The court embraced Buddhism, building massive temples like Todaiji. However, Buddhist monasteries gained too much power, prompting the imperial family to move the capital to Heian, Kyoto, starting the Heian period, 794 to 1185. The Heian era is known for elegant court life, poetry, and classics like the Tale of Genji. The emperor remained a symbolic figure, but real power started shifting to aristocratic families like the Fujiwara and local warriors. These early samurai would later challenge the court's control, setting the stage for a feudal era led by military rule. Part 3. The Rise of the Samurai in Kamakura Shogunate, 1185 to 1333. By the late 1100s, the imperial court had lost much of its real power. After years of internal warfare, the Minamoto clan triumphed in the Genpei War, 1180 to 1185, and established Japan's first shogunate in Kamakura. In 1192, Minamoto no Yoritomo was appointed shogun, marking the start of military rule in Japan. This era saw the rise of samurai, professional warriors loyal to regional lords, or daimyo. The emperor still existed, but power rested with the shogun and his warrior government. A strict honor code called Bushido began to shape samurai life, emphasizing loyalty, discipline, and courage. In 1274 and 1281, the Mongols attempted to invade Japan. Both times, typhoons, later called kamikaze or divine winds, destroyed the invading fleets. Though victorious, the cost of defense weakened the shogunate, and unrest followed. The Kamakura shogunate struggled to maintain order, and tensions between warriors and the court deepened. Eventually, a new conflict broke out, leading to the collapse of the Kamakura government in 1333 and paving the way for a new power shift in Japanese politics. Part 4. The Ashikaga Shogunate and the Age of Warring States, 1333 to 1573. After the fall of the Kamakura shogunate in 1333, Emperor Go-Daigo tried to restore imperial rule, but his efforts were short-lived. By 1336, Ashikaga Takauji, a powerful warlord, turned against the emperor and established the Ashikaga shogunate, beginning the Muromachi period. Though based in Kyoto, the Ashikaga government had weak central control. Local daimyo grew stronger, ruling their own territories like independent kingdoms. Culture flourished under Ashikaga patronage, with the rise of no theater, Zen gardens, and the tea ceremony. However, political instability worsened. In 1467, the Unin War broke out, plunging Japan into a long period of civil war known as the Sengoku period, the Age of Warring States. Rival daimyo fought for land and power, while the central government collapsed. Despite the chaos, this time also produced great leaders. Oda Nobunaga, a ruthless general, began unifying Japan by defeating rival lords. His efforts would be continued by Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu, who would eventually end the violence and reunify the country. Part 5. Unification and the Tokugawa Shogunate, 1573 to 1868. The bloody chaos of the Sengoku period began to end in the late 1500s. Three powerful leaders, Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu, succeeded in unifying Japan. After Nobunaga's military victories and Hideyoshi's national consolidation, Tokugawa Ieyasu defeated rival clans at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. In 1603, Ieyasu became shogun, founding the Tokugawa Shogunate, which ruled for over 250 years from Edo, modern Tokyo. The regime established a strict social hierarchy and a centralized feudal system. The emperor remained in Kyoto as a symbolic figure, while the shogun held actual power. To ensure control, the Tokugawa government implemented the Sakoku, closed country, policy, cutting Japan off from most foreign influence. Christianity was banned, and trade was limited to a few Chinese and Dutch merchants. Despite isolation, this period, known as the Edo period, was one of peace, stability, and cultural growth. Urban centers flourished, and popular arts like kabuki, ukiyo-e prints, and haiku poetry thrived. However, by the mid-1800s, internal unrest and pressure from Western powers would soon challenge the shogunate's authority, setting the stage for dramatic change. Part 6. The Meiji Restoration and Modernization, 1868 to 1912. In the mid-19th century, Japan's isolation ended abruptly when Commodore Matthew Perry of the U.S. Navy arrived in 1853, demanding trade access. Facing military inferiority, the Tokugawa shogunate signed unequal treaties with Western powers, sparking internal dissent. Amid growing unrest, a movement to restore imperial rule gained momentum. In 1868, the Meiji Restoration overthrew the Tokugawa regime, and Emperor Meiji was declared the symbolic leader of a new era. Though the emperor held the throne, real power rested with reformist officials aiming to modernize Japan. The Meiji government launched sweeping reforms, abolishing the feudal system, creating a centralized bureaucracy, and establishing a modern army and navy. Western technologies, legal systems, and education models were rapidly adopted. Industrialization took off, and railways, factories, and modern infrastructure spread across the country. Japan also began asserting itself internationally. It defeated China, 1895, and Russia, 1905, in major wars, gaining territory and global respect. For the first time, Japan was recognized as a modern world power. This era marked Japan's transformation from a feudal society into a strong, industrialized nation, paving the way for its complex role in 20th-century world affairs. Part 7. Empire, War, and Rebirth, 1912, present day. After Emperor Meiji's death in 1912, Japan entered a turbulent century. The country expanded its empire, annexing Korea and parts of China, and joined the Allies in World War I. But as militarism grew, Japan's democracy weakened. In the 1930s, Japan invaded Manchuria and later China, escalating into full-scale war. The alliance with Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy led Japan into World War II. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the U.S. into the war. After years of brutal conflict, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. Japan surrendered shortly after. The post-war period was transformative. Under U.S. occupation, Japan adopted a pacifist constitution in 1947, renouncing war and imperial ambitions. The emperor became a symbolic figure. Massive economic reforms followed, and by the 1960s, 80s, Japan emerged as a global economic powerhouse, known for its technology and innovation. Today, Japan is a democratic nation with deep cultural traditions and cutting-edge modernity. From mythical origins to high-tech society, its history reflects resilience, adaptation, and an enduring sense of identity.